from Detroit, Michigan, USA. In My House, hosted by T. Carlita, where the true stories are told and great music is played.
Welcome to another episode of the In My House Techno Music Show. I am your host, T. Carlita, and this week I have two guests. I have Sabree, who is here with her beautiful smile and beautiful hair that's always flowing. She is here to talk about her business called OPNR and just give us a little catch up on what she's been up to and how business is going and how you can connect with her to be part of her business adventure. Plus, a forever supporter of our show, Wayne County Treasurer, is here, Eric Sabree, to share some very valuable information to Wayne County residents on deadlines and programs they offer to help you stay in your home and avoid foreclosure. This is T. Carlita for the In My House Techno Music Show, where the true stories are told and great music is played.
You are In My House, hosted by T. Carlita, where the true stories are told and great music is played.
All right. Treasurer Eric Sabree is here on our show, and first I want to say thank you for supporting In My House, the house and techno community. They are really, when they see the Treasurer commercial, they'll be like, "How much Treasurer house music?" I said, "Don't you live in a house?"
That's right. I know. I've listened to that music. I listen to house music, of course. Electro is a big deal. The electronic music is started big in Detroit, you know.
That's right.
And so many other things have started in Detroit. And music, Detroit is synonymous with music.
That's right.
So yeah, really aware of it. And music is it's soothing to the soul, no matter what type of music it is.
That's right. You can get something out of it, right?
You can get something out of it. Yeah.
Right. So let's kind of give the listeners a better view of what your role is. So as the Wayne County Treasurer, what does that mean? What is your role there?
The main thing that I'm responsible for is collection of delinquent taxes, and then being the custodian of that money that we collect, investing the money, and then making sure that the money is available for use by the county. So when you invest in, you want to make sure that the money, you have enough funds available. So when we have to pay bills, that if we need $50 million to pay, do accounts receivable, payroll, maybe healthcare for retirees, all those things have to be paid. You just have to make sure the money is available. So just looking at how you invest, how far you go out, make sure you have enough funds liquid at any given time to take care of the county finances and to protect the money so that it's there. And it's not, you don't lose money. We actually are making money. That's the number one function of the treasurer, to take care of the county funds. The other thing we do when collection of delinquent taxes, we have a state law governs that entire process. So if people don't pay their taxes within 3 years, they can lose it to tax foreclosure. So we spend a lot of time preventing tax foreclosure, and but to go back to the delinquent tax collections, the local communities collect the current taxes. We have 43 communities in Wayne County. They collect the current taxes, and they send those taxes over to us every month when they're collecting. And then at the end of February, the current tax collection ends, and they send all of the uncollected tax rolls or files to our office. And we then have to collect the delinquency. But before we do that, we borrow the money. We go out and borrow money and fund all of the communities and taxing authorities for what was not collected. So they get 100% of the money as though they collected all of it. Then we collect the debt. And then if we don't collect all the money, we back charge them for what we didn't collect. And that includes what we don't sell at the auction. We have an auction every year, and that revenue then helps to pay, pay back what wasn't collected. So it's all really tied, it's all tied together. The funding of the communities, the collection of delinquencies, and we do make every effort to collect as much as we can, even through the sale of the properties in the auction, because otherwise these communities have to pay us. They lose money because we charge them back what we don't collect. So we're made whole, and then they would end up having to pay. They lose that revenue. So we do everything we can to collect the taxes or get the revenue from the sale of the properties that are foreclosed.
So you're like a real checks and balance system as well. You go here, you go. So is Wayne County the largest in the whole state?
It's the largest county in Michigan, and I think it's the 12th largest county in the United States.
Wow.
Population. We have about.
You said 42. That just sounded like a
43 communities. Eight townships and the rest 30. What is that? 30. Can I count? 35 cities and 8 townships.
Huge responsibility for the residents then, because that's a lot of territory to be in charge for and keeping them in the home. So what are some of the things that you do to help keep people in the homes? I know here on the show we have, let me tell you, everybody just loves Judge Mathis commercial. I swear, everybody loves Judge Mathis.
I want to say Judge Mathis really has been a blessing to us. He did that commercial. He didn't charge us for anything to do it. He did it just because, he grew up in the city, and he wanted to do his part to help people save their homes. So I really always thank him. Whenever I see him, I always thank him for helping us with the commercial. We went on his show. I went there to Chicago, and my wife and daughter, Aaliyah, and my aunt that lives in Chicago. We went on his show at the Judge Mathis show.
Okay.
We were there in the audience. Then he gave us a nice shout out. Said he worked with the treasurer's office, trying to help people stay in their homes, and it was nice.
Yeah, that's really good. That's good. And what's good about him, he never forgets where he comes from. Even on his show, he always talk about, I grew up in Detroit. You ain't fooling me. So he's scared of Detroit, which is great.
He really cares about the people, and he knows what the struggle is all about. So I'm really happy that people do pay attention to his commercials. So
definitely. Yeah. So instead of the commercials that we see here on this show and all over, what are some of the things that, what are some of the programs, what are some of the things that you're doing to help keep people in their homes?
One of the things that we have right now, especially, is the Michigan Homeowner Assistance Fund. That is a federally funded program that the state of Michigan is administering, and it's helping people with not only with back taxes, but with the mortgage payments that are behind, the utility bills, cable, broadband services, and homeowner insurance.
Mm-hmm.
But, of course, we focus on the delinquent tax issue, but it's helping people can get up to $25,000 grant if they've been adversely impacted by COVID after January 2020, rather, and they have some decrease in their income, increase in their expenses, hardship, sickness. They can apply for this Michigan Homeowner Assistance Fund. It's abbreviated MIHAF, MIHAF, and it's dial 211. If you dial 211, you can get connected to apply for MIHAF. Now, the thing about the MIHAF program, it's we've helped about 2,500 people already since last year. It's been in place for about a year now, and spent just for property taxes about almost $12 million. But that's a small amount of money of what the state has, and we're trying to encourage more people to apply. If you're a new applicant for MIHAF, when I say new, I mean you haven't applied and received benefits before during last year, or you applied and were denied. If you're not in that group, you're a new applicant. All you have to do is apply. If you're an owner-occupant of residential property, apply for the program. Your property be removed from foreclosure, because it's going to take more than a few weeks for them to process the applications, just like last year. So if you apply, if you were denied last year or you received money last year, you're going to be ineligible. But if you apply and you're a new applicant, all you have to do is apply. And there are a number of people last year who got foreclosed, over 300 owner occupants, because all they had to do was apply for this program. They would have been taken out. So that's the message we're getting out. We have people going out in the community, knocking on doors. We are working with religious groups. We also want to start going to the barber and beauty shops and to the gas stations and put some posters up in grocery store, gas stations, because everybody has to go to the grocery store. Everybody has to go to the gas station.
Yeah.
Usually people go get their hair done, get their hair cut.
Right.
Sooner or later, they're gonna go those places.
Right.
Everybody. So it may be even the dollar stores, people are gonna go there. And so we want to try to get to where the people are. And that's what we have to do. And then we got to push on for the next 6 weeks. Starting the 18th of February, we're going to be open on Saturday from 8 to 2. All you have to do is make an appointment, treasurer.waynecounty.com. It's treasurer.waynecounty.com. Make an appointment, come in on Saturday. We have Saturday hours starting February 18th, every Saturday through March.
Is it now, in order to set up these programs, do you have to do appointment or do you do walk-ins as well? Are you back to walk-ins or is it basically appointments?
We're not back to walk-ins. We have appointment only system.
Okay.
Because of two reasons why. One, because we can't have crowds of people in the office. It works against the health of everyone, because we still have viruses out there. People still getting sick, dying from COVID. Matter of fact, there's a funeral today. Someone that died of COVID. Still, people dying from complications of COVID, and so we can't have that, because if you have crowds of people, you're just inviting a problem.
Right.
So
okay.
That's one reason. The other reason is we used to have 15 cashier windows open. Now we have 6.
Wow. Okay.
People retired, people left and got for better jobs. Better pay. So we have 6 people come in. If somebody calls in sick, or 2 people call in sick, then we have limited ability to help people, and we don't want people standing in long lines.
Right.
And, we can't service them. So they make an appointment, they can get in and out. The appointment system is a good system. If you come in without an appointment and there's nobody here, then we'll usually let you go.
Okay.
Especially seniors. If somebody comes down, we're gonna do everything we can. Especially seniors come. Let them go. They may have to wait a little bit. We're gonna help them.
But you want to control that, because like you said, if you only have 3, it's like when you go to the grocery store and they only got 2 lines open and the line is way down. You don't want that. That's good.
Yeah, we don't want that. And usually people that come in with appointments, they like the system because they don't have to wait. You can go right here into the window, take care of your business, and go.
Good.
So you encourage people to use the appointment system. If you come in without an appointment and there's nobody here, then the position is that we're gonna let you go ahead.
Okay.
Some people miss the appointments. Some people are late. So sometimes you come in the office, like there's nobody in line. There's nobody there. So if you show up, you just happen to be lucky that day, you show up, there's nobody there, then we'll let you go. But if it's crowded and it's busy, everybody's making their appointments, then you can just wait and hang around and see if you can get in, or just make an appointment.
Okay. All right.
That's why we're doing the Saturday hours, because we know that a lot of people can't get appointments
through the week. Right.
And then sometimes it takes, we're already in, I think, the 15th of February for appointments.
Wow. So let me ask you a question. Now, when people lose their homes and these application processes are available, do you hear that? Like, why do people not apply? Do they feel they're not qualified?
Well, I don't know what happens, but we hear from the newspapers. They come in and say, well, I didn't know, or I thought I was in a payment plan or something like that.
Okay.
And then when we tell them, your property is in the auction or it's sold already, then they go to the newspapers or something, Channel 4 or Channel 7, and they tell them, hey, they took my property and trying to get it back. So then they call us. Then we go through and tell them everything that happened, the last time they paid, what they owe. They didn't apply for any funds. They didn't contact us and tell us, that they had, any health issues or anything like that. Usually it's a lack of communication. That's usually what it is. It's a lack of communication, and either they didn't come in or they either don't agree with us with what they owe, and they get mad and don't come back.
I got you.
Something like that. It's just the fact that either in denial of it, or they feel like they're not sure it's really going to happen, or they just every now and then though we run into cases where people are like just totally confused, maybe not have the if we know it's this, we can help them.
Okay.
Know if they're like maybe they're mentally not capable of really handling their business.
Mm-hmm.
So if we know this, we can help them. We can
Right.
give them an extension of time, but we have to hear from someone.
Well, I will
That's our
commend
challenge. That's our
you.
challenge. Yeah.
You have done such a great job with getting the information out, which is great. I mean, you've used the social media platforms. Like when you said everywhere where people are at, I believe, and I've seen it for myself, you have touched every platform where the people are. So that's a good thing. But what are the dates? Like that's the most important thing is the dates, the deadlines. What are those dates coming up? And what are the dates that people need to just put on their calendar? If you're a homeowner every year, you need to put this date in your calendar because it's coming.
I would say a couple of dates. One is February, maybe February 15th, around that time, because if you owe, for instance, you owe right now 2021 taxes. You're not in danger of foreclosure. But if your property taxes come over to us on March 1st, then you're going to have an extra $200 some added, and the interest is going to go up because you didn't pay your first year first year delinquency, your 2021s. They get what they call forfeited. That's number one. That'll stop you from getting further behind. Now, if you're in danger of foreclosure, you got a yellow notice on the door and a yellow card we send out. Then March, is your debt. March, you want 15th, you want to get into a payment plan by the 15th of March. Or you want to pay it in full by March 31st, stay out of foreclosure. Or apply for the homeowner assistance fund if you haven't done that. And if you're very low income, you can apply for the HOPE program, the homeowner property exemption, and check with your local assessor to see if you're eligible for the exemption. Because if your income is low enough, you don't have to pay property tax at all. And if you have back taxes, you can get about 80% of those taxes extinguished through the Pay As You Stay program. It's another program that the legislature passed a few years ago, but you can get about 80% of your taxes extinguished that you had already if you're qualified for an exemption. So if you live in the city of Detroit, the Dan Gilbert Foundation has been paying the other 15 or 20% that you had left over. Normally you have 3 years to pay it off without any interest, penalties, or fees, whatever balance that you had after your pay-as-you-stay formula was implemented. You have 3 years to pay it off without any interest, penalties, or fees. But if you live in the city of Detroit, the Dan Gilbert Foundation is paying it off to a zero balance. So over 11,000 people have been taken care of through that program. So that's another way to apply. And if you own a business, you have I think any commercial property, you can get an extension. If you apply, there's on our online, we have all the things for the extension for what we call a owner occupant extension, distressed owner occupant extension. That's for residential, or for commercial property extensions. It's on our website, and you can fill out the forms there, and you can get an extra year to get into a payment agreement, pay down 25% of what you owe and stretch it out. But that's if you're a commercial property owner.
So you've already laid out different options and different ways. Can you just like put them all together? These are the options, because I want the taxpayers not to miss it in our conversation.
The main thing I want to say is you can get into a payment agreement with us. You can get into a payment agreement, or you can apply for the Michigan Homeowner Assistance Fund by dialing 211. You can apply for the HOPE program at your local assessor's office if your income is very low. And you can email us at taxinfo@waynecounty.com, TAXINFO@waynecounty.com. You can call us 313-224-5990, 313-224-5990. And you can also go to our website, which is the best place to go. It's treasurer.waynecounty.com. If you go to the website, and you'll see how to pay. You can pay at the kiosk. You can pay online. You can get into a payment agreement online. You can go. It'll give you all the options of payment plans. Everything is online. How to make an appointment. Everything is right there. And
Awesome.
we can help. If you call us, if you need help doing that, we can help. So
Okay.
that's the main thing.
That's it. And the only reason why I did that, I know you've said it, we've talked about it, but you know, some people, it needs to be A, B, C, D, E right there. So like if they're watching this or they want to pay it back, they just scoot it right to that point. He said, you know, it's like right there, you know, they don't have to go through the conversation. So I kind of like wanted to do it like textbook classroom, put it on the blackboard. So that's why I did that, because you said it throughout the entire conversation, but I just wanted to get a little timestamp where they can go right to it and you say it in a row. That way nobody can miss it through conversation. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Well, so go ahead.
If I put myself in the situation of a taxpayer that has, for instance, I owe 2020 taxes, I can get into a payment agreement. If you're a residential property owner, you live in the house, it's your home, you can get into a payment agreement and pay 6% interest. You can also apply for the My Half program, Michigan Homeowner Assistance Fund, and wait for your application to see what happens with that. You can still get into a payment agreement while you wait for that. Now, what if you're in a situation where you already were in a payment agreement and you defaulted? You haven't paid anything maybe in 2 years or something. You had lost your job or sick. You haven't paid anything. Well, you need to contact our office, find out what you have to do to get back in good standing and a payment agreement again. Or if it's too much to do, you apply for the Michigan Homeowner Assistance Fund. Now, if you've already applied for the Michigan Homeowner Assistance Fund and received benefits, then you can't apply again. If you've already been denied, you can't apply again. But if you're a new applicant, you should apply. So those are the things that I would do. Right? And then main thing is to talk to our office, find out what can be done.
Okay.
Because
like that. So it's
almost anything, most everyone that contacts us, we usually can help them in some type of way. The people who get foreclosed, mostly, I'm talking about owner occupants, not landlords, because a lot of times the landlords are not collecting rent. Sometimes they're getting rent and not paying their taxes. It just depends. There's a group of different people, different types of people. There's small landlords, 1 or 2 properties, 3 properties they own. They're the ones struggling the most. Then there are the larger landlords that own 20 and 30 properties. Well, for that group, I always tell them, you can always sell 1 or 2 properties and pay all the taxes that you owe. You got to make a decision. It's a business decision for you. It's not really for me, because you have 30 properties. You figure out what to do. That's really your business. But as far as the one that owns 1 or 2 or 3 properties, and they don't have a lot of properties, they can't collect the rent, or they're having problems with repairs. And we try to have a little more sympathy with them, work with them a little bit more. And that's understandable. I mean, you can understand that.
Right.
There's a difference between one group and the other. It's not
exactly. Right. Yeah. So a lot of people always talk about they collecting my money, I'm paying my money. So what does it go back into the community? Like once you pay in, where does the community see any of this money?
Here's what the money, when you get your original tax bill from the local community, your city or township, it has on there where the taxes go. It has the library, community college, the jails, the parks, the county, the city. It lays out the school system, all where your money goes. So when we collect, that money gets distributed proportionally to all of those entities. They even get some of when we sell properties in the auction, they get the portion of the taxes and interest that it comes in from that as well. So if the library gets money, Wayne County Community College gets money, the parks, the jails, all the entities, the schools get money from the tax collection as well as the sales of the properties from the auction. Yeah, we don't. The county has to get some too, of course, but it's not like we just collect the money and keep all the money. The money gets distributed to all the entities that get taxed, tax dollars. Yeah.
Got you. So let's talk about people who inherit homes. Somebody passes away, they may don't know where the deeds are, don't have a deed. How do you help those people who inherit homes and don't have the things necessary or don't have a clue? Where does someone start in that case?
Well, that's a good question because that comes up often. Probably, I'd say 40%, 50% of all of our questions are involving this situation where someone is living in a house of deceased family member and they are either not sure, they weren't aware that they had to pay taxes, first of all. And when people say that, I understand that, but I also don't understand why you haven't addressed the mail that's been coming to the property. If we send so much mail to the property, but for whatever reason, people ignore bills, so they have other problems going on. But I always wanted to say, well, if you've been living in the house and you've been getting tax bills, then what have you been doing with the tax bills? But here's the situation. Those individuals need to go to probate court. They need to file a probate petition. And now you have to do it online. The probate court will decide who gets the property based on, you may have siblings, they have to sign off. If nobody else wants the property but one person, maybe they're arguing and they don't agree. The court will have to decide. Probate court will have to decide who gets the property. So until that property is puts in the name of someone who actually lives there, see, they're not eligible for these programs, for the MyHalf program, for the HOPE program, for the lower interest rate payment plans, because they're not an owner occupant. The owner is the deceased person, is their estate. It's their estate. It actually owns the property. But they have to go to probate court in order to get that resolved. Now, previously what we used to require, anyone that wanted to go to probate court, they used to file a probate case and bring us back a case number from the probate court, show that you actually have a case. Well, because there's such a backlog right now, and it's online since COVID, they had to do a lot of things online. It takes a little time, extra time. So what we're doing is anyone that files for a probate, a petition for probate court, all they have to do is show us the receipt that they paid for the application, and we'll remove their property from foreclosure.
And then just hold it pending
just stay out of foreclosure while the probate case is going on.
Okay, that's good.
And then the advice to them is don't just wait, still pay what you can so that the interest and penalties, the balance doesn't keep accumulating. Just pay what you can. If you can only pay $100 a month, just pay $100 a month. And then that's $1,200 a year. So that you're knocking that balance down some while the probate case is going on. And then once it's decided, whoever gets the property, if they live there, then they can then apply for the lower interest rate payment plans or the assistance that's available through the state. I think that's the best advice. So we get a lot of people in that situation, and we're working hard to try to get more. There's free legal assistance for people to go to probate court, United Community Housing Coalition, Lakeshore Legal, and Michigan Legal Services. Those are three entities. That's Michigan. That's the United Community Housing Coalition, Lakeshore Legal, Michigan Legal Services. They have attorneys that do this work for free. Okay. And they will help people who are facing foreclosure go to probate court. They can help you file the case. It may be a little cumbersome or a little confusing for them. So
the bottom line is, Treasure, is this: there is no excuse, no reason why people lose their homes, because there are a vast number of ways to keep your home, and you have some kind of program that kind of fits just about everybody.
Just about everyone. Just about.
Okay.
There's going to be some that don't get that they're going to get foreclosed, I'm sure, because they owe 10 years of taxes. They haven't
Yeah.
done anything in 4 or 5 years. They haven't contacted our office. They haven't done anything. So we don't know what's going on with them. So
Right.
some people will lose their property because of that. Those kind of cases. But those are extreme. Those are extreme cases. There may be 50 to 100 of them. But the rest of the people should not get foreclosed. Most people lose their property for less than $3,000.
Wow.
Well, for
Wow.
$3,000, their property would be taken out of foreclosure.
Mm.
$3,000 or less. So we're going through. We're looking at the list. We're going out. Our community people are reaching them. The city's doing it. The city council's out there. We got the mayor's office in Detroit. All the elected officials. We send them all the list. We all 43 communities. We send them the spreadsheet of their communities. Who's in foreclosure? How much they owe? What years they owe? So some of them know their people in their communities, especially the smaller communities. They know who these people are. They can knock on their door and say, "Hey, you're about to lose your house." So we get a lot of help from our local officials doing that. Some of the county commissioners, we give them the list. They have the list. They can help, and it's a big job, but we get a lot of help from others because people are out there, letting people know. We can't reach everyone.
Right.
We can do a lot, but we're going to miss people. So the more people you get involved, the more people we can reach, and that's what's going on right now. And we've been doing this for years. Every year we get the list out, and even like city, like for instance, Wyandotte, just an example of one city. The mayor, he assigned his different department heads like 7 or 8 properties. So you contact these people.
Wow.
And, like head of the recreation or head of grounds, head of the building department, different department heads. They had a list of people, and they go out and they're responsible for contacting them and letting them know, finding out what the situation was and letting them know what they can do. Contact the treasurer's office to save your house.
That's a nice personal approach too.
That was a very successful in that community because they only had like 25 or so properties that were endangered. So they would take this 25 properties, divide them up, go out in the community, and I think they ended up having like 2 foreclosures or something. And both of them were vacant properties.
Wow, that's awesome.
So that was a way like Wyandotte, that's what they did.
Okay.
So we send that out to the local communities to encourage them to help like that. So
okay. Well, Treasurer, I appreciate you. And the one thing we'll always say, I really appreciate the fact that you reach out, like you said, where the people are, and then you trust, I'm a small operation, but we still reach mass people because we have social media presence.
we have definitely.
And so I'm grateful that you see the importance of, the value that shows like mine. We still reach somebody, and as long as you can say one of those,
That's right. You save one. You save one. And my challenge to people say, you find one person. If everybody finds one person that's in trouble, we'll probably get everybody that's in trouble.
That's right. That's right. Well, you have a great day, and I want to get you over here on them turntables.
Yeah.
So it's easy.
I gotta come and do that.
You are In My House, hosted by T. Carlita, where the true stories are told and great music is played.
Welcome, Judge Mathis. Thanks for coming to share an important message with the Wayne County taxpayers.
Well, thank you for allowing me to help. Most of my life I was a resident of Wayne County, and so I'm here to help because Treasurer Sabree wants to work with Wayne County homeowners to keep families in their homes and prevent foreclosure.
If you're having trouble making your property tax payments, let us know. We have many resources to help.
Already in the payment plan? It's important you stay in good standing.
Making property tax payments is now easier than ever. We have placed payment kiosks in community centers across the county. We've also added kiosks in our offices. Contact us at 313-224-5990 or email us at taxinfo@waynecounty.com.
And remember, stay safe, save time,
Make your appointments and payments online.
This portion of the In My House Techno Music Show is brought to you by Miko Events and Designs, specializing in events of all occasions and floral designs for your many needs, weddings, funerals, birthdays. Let Miko design and let your room come to life through Miko's Events and Designs. That's Miko Events and Designs. Find her on Facebook, follow her on Instagram. To get in touch with Miko, she can be reached 586-222-9752. That's 586-222-9752. Or email mikoeventsdesigns@yahoo.com. Miko Events Designs, thank you so much for being a proud supporter of the In My House Techno Music Show.
In My House Radio, online 24/7. Featuring only the best techno and house music. And be sure to tune in for Sunday Inspiration, every Sunday from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Get connected, www.inmyhouse65.com.
I'm Wayne County Treasurer Eric Sabree. There are payment plans available to help save your property. Visit our website at treasurer.waynecounty.com or email us at taxinfo@waynecounty.com for further information. We're here to help.
So, Super Dre, I am so excited to have you here on the show. And I mean, we've been friends for a long time. We've been in the same circle, in the same spaces, from hanging down at Submerge with Tommy Koo and rest in peace, Joe Beasy. Yes. So, what have you been doing with yourself?
Everything.
I know you're an award winner and nominee, and you're famous for real now, huh?
Yes, it's crazy. I knew eventually I was gonna figure out a way that my work and music would be more. But yeah, I think we finally got there. Over the last probably 5 years, 6 years. This has been kind of this journey of really like trying to marry up my tech side with my music side, and just like really coming out of a desire, like wanting to help musicians. And like, what it's been like for all of us starting out, that process when you go from making music in your bedroom to trying to actually hit a stage is just like, it's a crazy time, a crazy transition. You don't really know what you're doing. You don't know how to do it. And it seems like every generation has to recreate this same thing every time, like when it would just be better if we just share knowledge differently. So a lot of what I've been working on, which a lot of people know, our company, it's called OPNR, OPNR is how it's spelled. But yeah, it's designed to be a marketplace that is helping to kind of democratize access to the spots, like those slots like that everyone wants, that like, emerging talent is really trying to get, because that's the way that they get broken on a new stage, and that process is inconsistent, wildly inconsistent, pretty incoherent. Just, it's very different across different venues, across different large promoters, and with talent buyers. And what we really set out to do was to create a marketplace where organizers could easily discover and book talent, but to keep it in a consistent and easy digital platform, and to be able to have data to back them up when they're making decisions around this stuff. So I have been working very hard for the last really about the last like year and a half, specifically focused on opener and trying to take it to the next level, basically. So like you've probably seen, we're pursuing outside investment and all that now, but mostly just trying to like partner with the right, musicians and the right venues and promoters and all of that, to help really push stuff forward. And hopefully we can help. you know?
So what are some of the client base, or, you know, with the opener project, what do you, where do your artists come from? Is it musician, DJ? Is it specific clientele you're looking for? What is it? What is the marriage that you're really looking to get? So that way, when they see this, they'll know what you're looking
Yeah,
for and how you can also
absolutely.
help them.
Yeah, for sure. So it's like, so since we're a two-sided marketplace, we're actually helping on both sides. So we've got, you know, the musicians or talent basically is on one side, and then on the other side, that's what fits the venues, promoters, organizers, you know, talent buyers. They all kind of fit in one bucket, because even though their jobs are different, when it comes to booking, the function is similar. Like, no matter what, it's the same stuff basically that needs to happen. So on that organizer side, we've worked with everyone from large promoters that do festivals, to sometimes all the way down to coffee shops, you know, who book singer-songwriters on the weekends, you know, who play in their establishments, hotels who use us to book entertainment for their lobbies on the weekends. And, you know, those are kind of the more, I guess, like non-traditional spaces where I've seen us show up, where I didn't even really expect us to be used in that way, but it actually opened up. It realized that it helped us see that our market was actually a lot bigger than we originally thought that it was. So on that organizer side, it's pretty much anybody who books talent can use our platform. On the musician side, same thing. We have close to 9,000 musicians onboarded onto the platform now from all across the country. All 50 states are represented now. I'm super excited about that. And genre wise, it's all over the map. It's literally everything. We don't really have a specific focus. You know, we really feel like, and that definitely includes DJs and producers. So we don't have a specific focus, because when it comes down to it, music is music, and people needing to get booked, or people needing to get booked, that process is not a whole lot different for a folk artist, you know, than it would be, you know, for a rapper. It's the same, the principles still hold true. So
do you feel that your experiences as a DJ yourself, did that inspire you to want to create your own company? So how did going from Super Dre, the DJ, to this business, was that part of the plan? Because you experienced some things on your own and you wanted to do something to make a difference?
Yeah, I mean, I actually, I could probably be considered a perfect use case for opener. I just didn't have opener at the time. But, you know, but I definitely understand how important access to those opening slots. And we don't just do opening slots, but that's kind of where we got started. That access to those slots is so critical and so important to how the rest of your career can go, frankly. And I remember when I, you know, was really trying to get out there. And I remember begging my manager at the time to see if I could get this show where I could open for this big DJ that was coming through. And I mean, I begged and begged and begged and begged and begged, and finally got a chance to be able to do it. And so I was able to open for that show. And that show, I remember when I was coming off the stage, the artist that I opened for, he was standing right there. Then he was like, oh my God, he was like, I had to talk to you. He was like, we're on tour in a couple of months. He was like, I'm going to get your management contact information. He was like, I really want to talk to them. I would love to have you on this tour. And that tour turned into 15 other tours just with that artist, you know, and that didn't even include all the other tours that I got on, because that is what helped me get signed to a booking agency and get signed to a management agency, and all these other things start to fall in place. But you need the big break, the big break.
And you know, that's funny. That's good you talked about that. And I love the name opener, because a lot of DJs, they don't want to be the opening DJ. It's I want to be crazy to me. I want to be where the party's at.
Yeah.
Like you said, you were the opener, and the headliner, or somewhere along the line, was listening to you. And that's where your break came from. So just think, if you were not the opener and you were down in the gut, that person who's listening or hanging out before they do their set, they would have never heard you. So the opener can be powerful. They frown on the opener.
Yeah, and it's funny because I like, so personally, like, I love opening. I actually feel like it's a lot harder, frankly. It's way more
Absolutely.
difficult than headlining. And like I think that a lot of artists would probably be surprised at how much the headliner actually is listening, like, to the opening act. Like, I think sometimes there's this like perception that the headliner is so busy doing whatever they're doing before the show or like whatever, that they're not paying attention to what's happening. And like, that's not true. Sometimes if you're in the back, like in the, you know, in the green room or whatever, and you can hear what's happening, like if you like what you hear, there is a good chance you're walking up towards the edge of backstage so you can see like, who is this person? Like, oh, this is really, really cool. And I think it's really important. And a lot of people, I know everybody wants to play to the full room that's already ready or whatever, but like, that's easy. Warming up a room, though, is such an incredible responsibility that I think a lot of people don't even realize. Like, you're taking people on a journey, setting the tone for the entire evening. Like, that's like a huge deal. And so I would definitely want more people to think of it like that. Like, don't think of it as like, oh, I gotta open for so and so, I'm not getting the shine I want. Like, nah, you can get it. You just have to like go as hard for that opening slot as you would if you were headlining, you know?
Right. Because, you know, not only that, the opener is the person that people stay or leave.
Yep.
Plus, with social media being so popular today, you know, they're on their phones like, dog, you got to get down here. Man, this girl is killing it. This dude is killing it. I never heard. I don't even know who they are, but y'all need to come down here. Now you got people flocking down there. Now they know your name. Like you said, the down in the gut, you get lost. You become just a name on a slot list. Opener is like, you remember who opened and you remember who closed.
Yep.
Most often you don't remember who's in between.
And
right?
so many times, you know, you show up early, you hear the opening act, opening band, whatever, and then next time you go to a different show and you're like, oh, now this person, now that band or that person isn't the opening act, they might be the direct support in the middle. So like, you see the ascent, you know, of them like moving up and all that. And to me, I think that's the fun part about watching like people, like when an artist, like when they really love it and they get in front of that crowd and you can see their ascent over time. I just think it's such a fun and like cool thing to watch, you know?
That's true. Watching that DJ or musician or artist in general, watching them evolve.
Yeah, like go from DJing at a little hole in the wall spot to like boom, then they're on a festival stage a few years later. Like that journey, there's so much that happens in between there and there. And I think a lot of people just like you miss it, you know? Like in some instances, the ascent is more fun than when you make it. Like,
right. So let's talk about the DJ now. Okay, we got a snapshot of the businesswoman. Let's talk about the DJ, my girl, Super Dre. Man, when I first saw you, I just couldn't believe it. I said, this hair is just everywhere. And you were just having so much fun. And it's so long ago now, I can't even remember where I saw you. I probably saw you at not TV, somewhere downtown in the basement somewhere. Because you've been everywhere. You were in somebody's basement, some little spot, coffee house.
Oh yeah, probably at Club NEP. Yeah, probably.
Yeah, NEP.
Shout out to
man. Shout out to Gerald over there.
Yeah.
And you know he's still doing it too.
I know. Actually, I just like something popped up in the group on Facebook the other day. I was like, man, I gotta make it. I was like, I gotta get to another one. It's been too long. So
yeah, that's a hot house Friday for sure.
Yeah,
now that's a true make it or break it spot because that's the most real audience ever.
Yes, 100%. And that's why, again, like when people are like, oh, I don't want to play to a room if there's not enough people there. It's like, listen, you don't know who's there. Like, you don't know if there's 5 people there, but 2 of the 5 are like experts in the space or frankly, people who could help you. Like, who cares? You played in your bedroom for this long. What difference does it make if you're playing for 5 people?
That's right. So tell me about the DJ. So when did that moment, what inspired you to even want to do DJing? Were there people that you just kind of idolized and like, when I grow up, I want to, you know?
Truthfully, like not so much like that. I always was, I've been a musician for like, I feel like my whole life almost.
All right.
I started playing piano when I was really young. Like my mom taught us how to play. And then by the time I was in the 4th grade, like I was already playing flute and saxophone. Then after that, it was like I picked up more instruments and this, and then I was in jazz band, concert band, symphony, marching band, every kind of band. I played the drums in a rock band for a while. Like, so pretty
Wow.
much all the way through elementary, junior high, high school, college, like I was always in music and I was making music a lot. So I actually started DJing because I was already making electronic music and everyone was like, oh, you should play it out. And I was like, oh yeah, I guess like it didn't even really occur to me, like kind of like how to do that. I probably would have thought like I would have ended up as like, you know, still like doing electronic music, but more just solely on the producer side, you know, instead of like doing both. And so I had a couple friends like who DJ'd and stuff. And growing up, my family's from Detroit, so our whole life, you know, and like coming in out of Detroit, spending our summers there, you know, with like grandparents and stuff, like we were just around electronic music, I think, all the time. But it didn't occur to me that it was like a different kind of music. It was just this what we listen to, you know, like,
Right.
and so
Right.
when I was making it, I really didn't even know what I was making. Like I was just making music that I really liked. And then everyone's like, oh yeah, like this is house, you know, or like this is techno, you know, and I did a lot with hip hop and stuff too. And I like to like mix the genres like a little bit. And so I started doing that. I bought these videotapes, DJ Shorty. I don't know if you know what she is, but she's really like she's a turntablist, really good scratcher. And her and her husband did this like how to DJ 101 course that like you could buy. I bought them off eBay. I'll never forget. I was probably like, I don't know, maybe like 19 or something. Like, but bought them off eBay. I bought 2 Techniques turntables, found them on Craigslist. This really terrible Vestax mixer that was like, it was about this big. It was a really tiny one.
Wow.
And it just had 2 channels on it. It was real janky, but it was my first mixer. And I had everything just like set up, you know, in my room. And I bought 2 of the same record. And that's like how I learned how to mix. So like taught myself like how to mix and stuff. And then after that, it was like, okay, cool. Like, well, I got that. Like, okay, so I learned how to do this, like, you know, until it got to a point where I was like, okay, I think I'm ready. Like, I think I'm ready to play outside now, outside of the house. Like,
Wow.
yeah, and then it's just like getting little tiny gigs here and there, like at college, and I would play parties and stuff. And then I started throwing my own after hours parties. And that's like kind of where like people really got to know like who I was and stuff. Because by then I was like booking other people from like out of town. I was bringing people from Detroit to Grand Rapids, bringing people from Chicago to Grand Rapids and stuff. And that's really kind of how things got started. I had no idea it was going to end up like this, you know, like,
Right.
but I'm glad it did because I've met so many cool people and I've learned so much. And it like truly was like a labor of love of what it's like to teach yourself how to do something. And like that teaching yourself how to do it is like literally how you can make a living, you know, and a decent one at that. So,
Right.
yeah.
Well, I tell you what, you bring such a beautiful, warm, bubbly, like your whole personality is just full body bubbly. And it really shows in your work. And I'm so proud to call you a friend and excited that you are doing what you're doing. And I really, truly appreciate you for taking time. And we've been trying to do this for a long time.
I know,
For a
yeah.
long time. But you know what? Everything is in perfect timing and divine order.
It
And you just as beautiful as ever. Keep that hair flowing, girl. Keep inspiring us to wear our hair, okay? So how can people find out about your business? What's the website?
Yep. So, super easy to find. OPNRmusic.com. We take out the vowels because you got to make it cool for a startup. So it's OPNRmusic.com. But you can find us on the web. And if you get to us quick enough, because right now we are in the process of getting ready to implement payments. So for those organizers, you can sign up for free right now. You can sign up for free right now. You can post show opportunities right now. And those show opportunities, when you post them, an alert automatically goes out to all of the artists on the platform that fit the criteria of what you're looking for. So then all those people come back to you in a queue. You can pick them out however you want to do it and handle your communication right inside the platform and everything.
Wow.
Other than that, you can find us on socials everywhere too. All our socials are also at, OPNR Music. Yeah, so come find us, come sign up. If you have questions, you can always reach out to me. You can find me on all the social channels, just Google Super Dre. But yeah, definitely reach out if you got questions, if you got ideas for how you're like, oh man, it would be really cool if the platform had this or that. I'm open to all those things. So by all means, I got thick skin. We can take all the feedback. So
oh my God. Well, I'm again, I'm so proud of you. And when you talk about watching an elevation or evolution of a person, I have watched you from kind of like this little kid going through.
Yeah.
And I have truly watched you mature, and I've watched you evolve. And I'm from one woman, from one sister to another. I'm always so super proud of my Super Dre, I tell you.
Oh man, thank you. Don't make me cry.
I know, it's so oh my God, it's just so crazy. I'm like, seriously, I mean, I really seen you at your youthful stage. You were like this little rookie kid coming through, and it's like, bam, you broke that door wide open. So I am so proud of you, Dre. You continue to do good. And listen, OPNR, get over there while you can. Super Dre and the crew, they waiting on you.
We're waiting.
Awesome. All right, Super Dre, thank you so much, and continue to be beautiful. You hear me?
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you for having the platform for musicians to be on it. Like, we appreciate you. You are such an integral part of the scene, of the industry. We need you. Thank you so much.
I appreciate you. You take care, okay?
Yep, you
this
too.
Is T. Carlita for the In My House Techno Music Show, and you heard it right here. OPNR. Get over there. They waiting. They got some stuff for you to do, and y'all gonna work. She gonna work you too. I can promise you on that. Super Dre ain't no joke. All right, but she gonna smile at the same time all the way through, because I already know that's what she does. All right, this is T. Carlita for the In My House Techno Music Show, where the true stories are told and great music is played.
Thanks, Charles, for letting me use your gardening supplies. I'll make sure I put it back in the garage. Man, tending to that lawn is a lot of work.
Tell you the truth, Jim, I'm more concerned about keeping this house.
What's going on?
Well, Sarah lost her job 2 months ago, right?
Yeah.
Since we lost that income, the bills have been piling up, and we're so far behind. I don't want to lose the house because of back taxes. I don't know what to do.
I understand. The same thing happened to my sister and her husband when he lost his job. Do you know that the Wayne County Treasurer has plans and programs to help people stay in their homes?
No, I didn't. Tell me about it.
Yeah, go to www.treasurer.waynecounty.com and see if you qualify.
What's that site again?
www.treasurer.waynecounty.com.
Got it.
In My House Radio, online 24/7. Featuring only the best techno and house music. And be sure to tune in for Sunday Inspiration, every Sunday from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Get connected, www.inmyhouse65.com.
You are In My House, hosted by T. Carlita, where the true stories are told and great music is played.